If you're someone who's always wanted to have a dog but are a bit intimidated about the cost that entails in terms of owning a dog, to top it off in one of the world's most expensive cities, stay tuned because I will cover all the important and the nice to have costs. Good day everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today's backdrop is one of the beautiful parks here in Dubai. This is one of our favorite because it's not that crowded. Owning a dog is one of the most rewarding feeling in the world. They just love you unconditionally. There is actually a pandemic puppy. To be honest, my building was a halal building, but because of the situation of the pandemic, we've been isolating for months and months. So my landlord finally allowed me to get a dog, and I really give Bear credit because I wouldn't have survived the pandemic if he wasn't with me at that time. Imagine being isolated alone in a box for almost 2 years. It has been a little over a year since I relocated with my dog Bear to Dubai, and I was pleasantly surprised because we came from Malaysia, a Muslim country. I was expecting about similar, even more stricter regulation in terms of having a pet, but I was pleasantly surprised to find out that Dubai is actually much pet friendlier compared to Malaysia. That's a good thing, meaning there's a lot of options here available. Yeah, we will continue this back home because there's more and more dogs that are getting here in the park, and Bear is gonna get pretty active again. And we're back! Earlier, we saw each other at the park, and now we're freshly showered. Bear also had his shower. He's with me per usual. There we go. I'm just gonna tilt it up a bit. Ay, tigas na. Picking up our conversation earlier about the cost breakdown of living in Dubai with a dog. So just to simplify the cost, we're gonna tier it into 3 levels: primary, basic, and the nice to haves. For the primary, the number one item would definitely be food. They can't survive without food. There's a lot of brands of kibbles that are available here in Dubai. It all depends on what your preference is, or what if your dog is allergic to certain ingredient or prefer certain kind of protein. It all depends on you. There's low and high end kind of kibbles. In Bear's case, we alternate 3 different brands, which is Taste of the Wild, Akana, and Ziwi Peak. His poodle is a fuzzy eater, so I need to make things interesting for him. The range of the price of that is between 115 to 120 per bag, and per bag is around 2 kilos, and that would last him around 2.5 months. And mind you, Bear is a toy poodle. It also depends on the size of the dog that you are getting on how much food intake they will be consuming. We're just gonna keep recording, trying to adjust a little bit because the sun is sunning. Another important item, still food related, are treats. Treats are important with motivating your dog. And again, there are a lot of available options in terms of treats. A bag of a duck treat would be around 47 dirhams, and that would last him for a month already. Again, It all depends also on the size of your dog, of your pet. It depends on how much quantity of treats you give to your dog. I personally recently added food toppers because I've just been researching a lot on how to lengthen the lives of our fur babies, of our dogs, of our pets. And there are studies that show proof in order to lengthen the life of your pets, it's good to add on kibbles as it is are good. But in order to lengthen and provide them with more nutrients, natural ingredients, is to add food toppers. So I'm gonna show it in another episode on how I prepare the recipe that I use for Bear's food topper. I've seen significant behavior change with Bear and food because in the past, oh my gosh, it's like a prayer session. It would take at least 30 minutes for Bear to finish his food, and I would have to sometimes spoon feed him. But since I started with food toppers, it's been life-changing. Now, my budget for the food topper is around, it's a bit pricey. It's about 247 dirhams per month. Again, this is, to me, it's on the primary category because I personally would want to ensure Bear to have a long life, as long as possible. Kahit stem cell na, I'm willing to make that investment for my dog. The last item in the primary category of cost are the mandatory vaccine required by the Ministry of Climate Change and Environment. I would just give a range. So it can be available as affordable as, I think, 300 and up to 700. Next is the kennel cough vaccine. You have to do it twice a year, every 6 months. It's a good protection for your dog to have because there are a lot of dogs and we would always go out and I just want to have that peace of mind that he won't get sick. For the primary cost, it would roughly be plus minus around 6,000. The second category of cost is basic. So meaning these are your optional items but still good to have. And a big chunk of the basic costs are actually something to do with hygiene. Let's start off with wee pad. In my case, I live in a condo and I don't have direct access to a garden. Unless you're living in a villa, wee pads are your besties. I have to allocate a wee pad for Bear every month. Again, there are a lot of high and low end brands of wee pad. For Bear's wee pad per month costs around 70 dirhams. Next is grooming. Grooming, I decided to put it in the basic category because it can be DIY. And some people could do it like every other month. In Bear's case, we actually used to go every month. But because of this video, when I had to tally the cost, I realized his grooming is much more expensive than my actual salon appointment, my haircuts. I get my haircuts every 3 months. He gets his grooming done every month. Grooming, again, has a range. Bear's grooming is 250 per month. And mind you, my haircut is only 170. And that's every 3 months. Thanks to this video, we're actually had some financial realizations on how to be more cost efficient. So now we've streamlined it to every 2 months is when he gets his grooming done. I do get his nails touched up, so I do trim it and then here and there. And I do have a blow dryer, so I still give him a bath once a week. And that's why I wanted to really create this video, is more to help create awareness. And once you know the cost, and you can tailor the budget based on your preference and your capacity. The next item is poop bag. Every pet parent has this. The budget for the poop bag is around 29 dirhams per month. The next item is toothpaste and toothbrush. For us humans, this is a very, very basic human need in terms of grooming. It's like shampoo. Per month, it's roughly 28 dirhams per month. And for dogs, for pets, it's really important that at a young age, you establish a dental routine with them to make them comfortable having to brush their teeth as regular as possible. For Bear, I try to do every day, depends on his mood. It also depends on what kind of food I feed him. If it's just kibbles, I could do every other day. A tube of toothpaste would last him at least 2 months. Last is vitamins. I give Bear probiotics because his breed, poodles specifically, has very sensitive gut. I wanted to integrate that habit, that there's a bit of support to look after and ensure his gut health is in perfect condition. As you can see with the trend, any small investment that could help avoid a big visit to the vet, because a visit to the vet here in Dubai is really, really expensive. So we try to make sure if we can avoid and provide natural ways to keep them healthy, I'm willing to make that investment. The rough total of the basic costs totals into around 5,000 dirhams plus minus. Again, these are you need to have them, but there might be a cheaper or DIY option available. The last item are the nice to have. So these are things that you don't necessarily need them, but if you have the financial resources, go for it by all means. I want to start off with pet insurance. Pet insurance, to be honest, is quite new here in Dubai. When we used to live in Malaysia, Bear actually had pet insurance and it's pretty acceptable in majority of the vet clinics. But here in Dubai, it's still in the early stages. So when I first arrived here in Dubai, every time I would see a pet owner walking their dog, like, do you have a pet insurance? What pet insurance do you have? And majority of the people that I asked said they don't have an insurance because not all vet recognize pet insurance yet as of the recording of this video. I did get a quotation from my buddy. I heard good reviews about them and there are different packages available. So there's entry, mid, and the more comprehensive. I feel the more comprehensive one is for more senior dogs or dogs who has pre-existing condition, but you need to check with the insurance because unfortunately some do not cover pre-existing condition. And that's personally my inhibition why I haven't really gotten around getting Bear an insurance, a pet insurance. The first level of pet insurance is silver. It has a coverage of a maximum 5,000 dirhams and the package costs 1,500. I'm gonna round it up. So for a package of 1,500, you have a coverage of 5,000 dirhams. The next tier, the gold package, amounts to 1,884 per year with a coverage of 10,000 dirhams. So it's a pretty big jump. And the most expensive package, which is the platinum package, 3,477 per year with a coverage of 25,000 dirhams. It depends on your needs. That's why it's a nice to have. It is definitely not cheap, but at least you are informed of what are the available pet insurance rates out there. The next item on my list that maybe most pet parents would say this is a primary item cost, but I realized that it's not. Wet wipes. Wet wipes, every other pet parent doesn't leave the house without wet wipes because that's how you clean up your dogs. Again, because of this video, I had to tally the cost and I was shocked at how much I've been spending just for wet wipes. Because I'm a bit particular, so Bear has 2 sets of wet wipes. One wet wipe for his paws and another wet wipe for his body. Apparently, I've been spending 136 dirhams per month just with wet wipes. And per year, I've been spending 1,600 plus just for wet wipes. Imagine, 1,600. So recently, I bought that I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correct, the muslin cloth that people use for babies. So I bought the exact same thing. I bought the good quality one and it works. And I'm quite happy because of this video. It was an eye-opener for me. Imagine, I've been spending this amount of money for over a year. So now, I'm saving a lot. Dog mom math. The next item is daycare. At one point, you would need to leave or travel and you would need someone to look after your dog. There are a lot of daycares out there. The price ranges, so they go by day rate. So I think some offers half day rate, full day rate per day. A daycare would roughly be between 90 to 110. Let's allocate a daycare twice every month. In a year, a daycare costs about 2,100 dirhams. It's a lot. It really is a lot. I actually wish I could find a pet sitter that I could really trust. I used to have one before, but she's moved on. I'm praying to find someone very soon because we have an upcoming trip. That's for the daycare. In terms of dog boarding, so meaning your dog will stay overnight and people will look after your dog, feed them, and let them socialize with other dogs. Some daycares do offer a package, but there are some who doesn't. Boarding also has a peak season rate. Peak season starts during summer when everybody travels and leaves Dubai because it's too hot. The range is between 130 to 150 per night. Let's say you're traveling for 10 days. So that's easily 1,300 to 1,500 for one trip. It is quite pricey. I think my tip is if you can find friends who are capable, whom your pets are familiar with, it would be much more cost efficient to still give them a little bit of allowance. If it was up to me, I would really prefer Bear stays with people that we know because with daycares, they do tend to be overworked and overstimulated because there's new dogs all the time, and I just feel more at peace when my dog is staying with someone I personally know. The daily daycare can be also very pricey. That's why I actually got a Furbo camera. This has been a lifesaver for me, to be honest, and it really helped with Bear's dog training for his separation anxiety. It is amazing. Actually, nandito siya. It's right here. This is Furbo. So he's alive, he moves, he follows Bear. This is not sponsored, but Furbo, maybe in the future. I'm very open to collaborate because I truly love this product. I cannot talk enough about it to other pet parents because this is really amazing. This is also a bit of an investment. When I purchased this last year, it was roughly 900 dirhams. And when I check now, it's gone up to around 1,300. But still, ayan, gumagalo siya. Kasi maingay. What makes Furbo a good investment is it gives you alert when your dog is barking, and it actually follows Bear around if he's walking, if he's crying. And there's also an alarm for gas, I think, but I think that's with a subscription. But even with just the basic device, this is amazing. And what I really love about this is that it's able to feed him treats. If you see here, that's where the treats dispenses. It throws it up, and then this is where andyan yung mga treats niya. I really love this. I swear by this. I'm actually on a trial subscription of the Dog Nanny subscription. It automatically records activities and it gives you a daily summary of your dog's activity. Imagine investing, so one-time payment of the Furbo 360 dog camera. So in a year, that's a lot of savings already versus daycare. It gives me the peace of mind when I go to work. I can easily check up on Bear on what he's up to and if he's crying. Furbo was actually very helpful because I recently was in a car accident. I wasn't able to go home right away, and I was honestly... Ayan, gumagalaw siya. Because he listens. It detects noise. Ang ingay ko. I've been so noisy. Anyway, going back, so when I got into a car accident, I was gone for longer time that I had planned. I wasn't able to go home right away. So I had to check the Furbo camera, and Bear was just sitting patiently waiting in the couch. It gave me so much assurance. Okay, he's okay. 5 p.m. Yes. And that gave me so much reassurance and peace of mind that that's one less thing to worry. I can focus on the current situation at hand. I highly recommend a Furbo camera. I used to have those normal CCTV camera. I still would definitely recommend Furbo, hands down. The other items, I will not include the cost, but I will mention, for example, transporting your dog, moving around, especially if you don't have a car. So pet taxi here costs around 90 dirhams for if it's within 10 kilometers, that's per way. So this is specifically the rate of chauffeur. I've used them a couple of times before I had my car, and it's pricey. Dog daycares, however, they do provide pickup and drop off. I think it's roughly 100 pickup and drop off, so it is much more cost efficient. Now, if you do have a car, there are also certain things that you need to account for. So your dog's car seat belt, your car seat. The area I live in has a few spots that doesn't allow dogs to walk in, but they do allow if they're in a stroller. So I made the investment to buy a stroller because I can't carry Bear because he's getting heavier and I have a tennis elbow. So that's an option. I do enjoy having a stroller because Bear is just so cute, and people are just so fond of like, oh, that's so cute. And because there are other babies and infants and toddlers in their stroller, and they would see me in my own fur baby in a stroller. So it's always a conversation starter with people that we meet along the way. So now you have an idea of the cost breakdown of living in Dubai with a dog. I hope you find this video helpful to decide whether owning a dog here in Dubai is for you or if you can afford it. As I mentioned earlier, the goal of this channel is to help create awareness on how you can manage a life with a dog, because there are so many abandoned dogs here in Dubai, and bottom line reason of that is because unfortunately they really just can't afford it anymore. So we don't want another abandoned dog here in Dubai. Now, if you are planning to relocate your dog to Dubai, I have a separate video just for that. It covers the whole process and the total cost. It will be linked in one of the cards somewhere here. So do check it out. Do you want to show here? Come here. 1, 2, 3. Yes. If you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe because that's how you show support for our channel. Thank you so much for watching and we'll see you in the next one. Shh. Ay nako, walk out na naman. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.